let me be absolute. I don't like this episode. I don't like it. So we're just going to get through it. And we're going to recap it. And we're going to get through it. You may like it. This may be your favorite episode. It is not my favorite episode. I don't like it. Seska the person, the real life person, is a good lady. But Seska the character, I do not like. And when my soaps are pulling stuff like this, there's only so much bad you can take. So anyways, hey, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And hey, every single Friday, if you haven't tuned in, please go back and watch all the Star Trek Next Generation recaps, especially those for you at the end with the gobble, 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 gobble. I just, irritated the life of me that I had really bad problems in the beginning. But now we are doing Voyager, and I like Voyager, and I like the ha 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 theme song, but I can't sing, I can't hum, I can't hold the tune, I can't anything. So if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I would so much appreciate you. So let's talk about this. And now we're starting to get shows in sequential order. With the 15 and the 16 and the 17, the 18, 19, they were out of order, but these are in order. And believe it or not, this is as close as, if I can get it any closer, I would. So, let's switch. Better. Alright, so, there is no voiceover for this episode. No voiceover. We did tattoo, we did cold fire, today we're doing maneuver. Voyager detects what appears to be a Federation signal raising hopes of contact with Starfleet. Instead, it's a trap set up by the Kazon, Nystrom, and Seska. Shall we indulge in? Apparently, these two were playing hooverball on the holodeck, and Janeway interrupted them. So, Janeway and Tuvok are talking. I have a source signal, a ship negative. It appears to be a beacon of some kind. A beacon. We're being hailed by someone using a Federation signal. How could someone be transmitting a Federation signal out in the Delta Quadrant? Maybe Starfleet found a way to get a probe here. Maybe they're looking for us, Paris says. I'd like to believe that too. Yeah, right. Let's get to it. It's a false signal. We know it. But they're giving them hope, right? Yes, ma'am. I'm being paged. So they follow the trail to the Purple Nebula, and then something fires at them from inside the Purple Nebula. So they end up in a firefight. There's lots of damage done to Voyager. It goes back and forth. They show the ship rocking back and forth. They participate in emergency procedures, all that kind of stuff. And then the Kazon board the ship. Here we are, the Kazon on the ship. And Tuvok gets one Kazon and shoots the other with a turbo blast. So then we get to the transporter room. And they have beamed themselves off the ship now that they've done some damage and stolen some items that they wanted to steal. So, what were they going to do with these people? Put them in the brig and leave them there for a couple of centuries? They'd have to feed, clothe them, and shelter them. Maybe slowly convince them to come over to our way of life while they fight the whole way and do a whole bunch of destruction and maybe kill some people along the way. So then they try to tractor beam the ship. The Kazon are powering their warp engines, Captain. Make it fast, Commander. Engaging tractor beam. I've got them, Captain. The Kazon ship is hailing us. On screen. First, Maj color of the K Nostrum. I remember you, color. That transporter module you just stole was specifically designed for our ship. You'll never be able to integrate it into your systems. I've had some help updating our technology since we last met. So, they reveal that Seska is working with them. So then they've got this thing in the ship. And Torres is looking at it. Neelix is there. Tuvok is there. And Neelix says, I've never known the K-Strim to do this before. Until now, the Kazon have never had an advisor with Cardassian Marquis and Starfleet tactical experience. The question is, how do we dislodge it without losing its structural integrity? With power down, our containment fields are extremely unstable, Kim says. Neelix says, forgive me, Captain, but are you sure going after the Nistrim is the wisest course of action after what they've already done to us? Let me make this clear. The Nistrim are in possession of Federation technology. That is an unacceptable situation. Even though all they've taken is a small computer component, that small computer component has the potential to cause vast problems in this quadrant. You're our resident expert on the Kazon. What do you think the other sex will do when they realize Nistrim have transporter capabilities? They'll try to get it for themselves any way they can. You're right. It could alter the balance of power in all the sects. Exactly. And our duty is to do everything we can, no matter how dangerous, to stop that from happening. You can count me in, Neelix says. And Chakotay 100% believes it's a trap. Well, duh! So then Cullen over here is giving his crew a pep talk. That ship is filled with new technology, devices that can make food, water, even weapons out of thin air. A computer system with neural tissue that will react twice as fast as ours. Maybe we should let them catch us so we can raid their ship some more. So then Chakotay and B'Elanna are talking. The model Seska stole contains a quantum resonance oscillator. So we modify this coil scanner to detect the oscillator. Then we get close enough to beam it back. I'm betting Seska's figured out a way to shield the module from our transporters. We might have to destroy it instead. How do we do that? We borrow a trick from Seska's book. Remember how we disabled the computer core on the Cardassian frigate Voyager? Seska modified an anti-proton beam to penetrate its shields and hull. Exactly. But if I remember correctly, the beam was only effective from extremely close range. How do we get near enough the ship to do it? One thing at a time, Chakotay says. He's gonna go undercover! He's gonna pretend to go to the dark side. At least that's my opinion right now. I don't know what happens yet. We haven't gotten that far yet. But that's just my opinion. Then we have another pep talk on the other ship. So then, on their way to chase Seska and her group, they find two bodies floating in space. Oh, I should point out the two bodies that were killed during the pep talk. I skipped that part. But they were killed during the pep talk in the previous screen. Sorry. So then the doctor is examining the two deceased people. I'm detecting a residual transporter signature. There's no doubt this man and this unfortunate companion were beamed into space. According to these readings, they were alive at the time, Captain. It looks like Seska's already adapted the transporter module into the Kazon systems and started experimenting with it. Her early trials appear to have been less successful, the doc says. I'm not so sure these men died by accident, Captain. You see the green band he's wearing? It means he was first Mott of the Kazon, Rila, sworn enemies of the Nistrim. It's conceivable that Seska and Cullen tried to use the transporter room to execute those guys. Not good. Not good. So then we're having a board meeting. And guess who's missing? Who's going undercover? Did I say he was going undercover? Chakotay is missing. He went to go to the rescue by himself. Bad boy, breaking all Starfleet rules. Bad boy. So then we're having a chit chat about the men that they killed that refused to follow orders. Then they have a chit chat about how powerful they could be if they work together as partners. You know someone's going to screw somebody over and someone's going to end up dead. Can only be one king or queen in this household. So then B'Elanna comes in to speak in favor of Chakotay. I'd like to talk to you about Chakotay. That's not exactly my favorite subject right now, Lieutenant. Well, I thought I could explain. Why? My first officer publicly defied my authority by commandeering a shuttle without permission. I know it was never his intention to defy you. He respects your authority. Yeah, but he did it anyway. He's a proud man and he's been embarrassed by Seska. What Seska did, she did to all of us. Frankly, I find it more a little self-indulgent of Chakotay to assume this is all about him. He never said it to me directly, but I think he's in love with her. Then he found out that everything he knew about her was a lie. You said he publicly defied your authority. Can you imagine it must have been like for someone as private as Chakotay to admit publicly he'd been humiliated by her? So we have this little chit-chat. So, we got to show you the shuttle. So you know that when we show you the picture of Chakotay, that he's on the shuttle. They always do that. Every time, if we're on a planet, we show the planet, then we go to the people. And then if we're going back to Voyager, we show Voyager, then we go inside Voyager to show the people. They always do that. Oh, and look where he is with the bad peeps. You know, maybe they're trying to show he's incognito or something. But I want to be able to see the person. If they're acting, I want to be able to see. But he's got the lights turned down in the shuttle. I guess it's supposed to be mysterious and add suspense to the situation. But if you can't see it, what's the point? There was a couple years ago, there was this really good they tried their hand at doing Dracula again, or a series on it. You know the problem with it? You couldn't see anything. That's why it didn't last too long. Because there was no lighting. You couldn't see the characters. All the action happened in the dark. And some of the actors may have had moving parts and speaking and dramatic stuff, but you couldn't see it because it was in the dark. So what's the point? And they're like, oh, look who's come to visit. And he tries to beam the part that they stole back onto the shuttlecraft. It doesn't work. So I hate it when they do this, but like Seska says something, and then it's back to Chakotay says something, then it's back to this group, and then it's back to there, and then it's back to there, and then I'm not doing all that stuff. So it goes back and forth. He tries to do it. They talk about bringing him aboard, situation, whole 9 yards. He sends out an emergency beacon, and he's taken prisoner. Like we knew this wasn't coming. He sends out an emergency beacon, and he gets captured. Like we knew this wasn't coming. So Seska comes, captures him. Then we go back to Voyager. We gotta show Voyager first before you can show the people. We gotta show Voyager first, then we show the people. I'm on a roll today. So Chakotay says, I'm detecting a Federation beacon at 057 Mark 72. That's definitely ours, Starfleet issue. I'll stop. The beacon is transmitting an automated message. It's from Commander Chakotay. On screen. To Voyager. If this signal has been activated, it means that I have destroyed the Nistrum's transporter capabilities. Captain, I apologize for acting without authorization, but I ask you not to the ship or the crew in further jeopardy by trying to rescue me. It's unlikely that I'm still alive. Chakotay to Voyager. If the signal has been activated. Blah, 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 blah. So we got to take him captive, beat him up a little bit, rough him up. Seska offers him a beverage. He says no. Seska says, "You know, I've got to hand it to you. I thought all these months answering to Janeway would have made you soft, but all you needed was a little slap in the face to get that Marquise heart of yours beating again. Here's to old times. I have no interest in reminiscing with you. I've destroyed the transporter module. The game's over. What do I need with a single transporter module when I've got your shuttle and all its technology in the hangar? I think you'll find that technology useless. I wiped the computer core before I transported. I should have anticipated that. So if you're going to kill me, just do it. You're still the noble one, aren't you? Ready to die for your shipmates. You know, Chakotay, I may not have your transporter anymore, but I do have something better. That's really all I wanted. I wanted you, Chakotay. I needed a slave, in the bedroom situation. Do my bidding. Maybe I'll keep you drugged, chained up on a bed. So, we're having a meeting in the briefing room. The message appears to be authentic, Captain. We've got to get him. Commander Chakotay has expressed that we don't. We don't we have to honor that request, Captain? If we rescue attempt forces us to engage the Kazon, there's always a possibility that more of our technology will fall into the hands, Tuvok says. Kim to the captain, I'm picking up several vessels converging on the Nishtrim's location. My gut tells me we should go after Chakotay. My better judgment tells me we should honor his request. I would never want you to ignore your judgment, Captain, but let me ask you this. In your judgment, how would the loss of the first officer affect your crew? She's got a point. So now we're doing the negotiations. Gotta beat the guy, slap him around a little bit, try to get secret codes and stuff. And now we're in the drugging stage. Oh, I forgot. She wants his child. I knew there was something else going on here. That's why she takes the fluid. I got it now. I remember. So then we're back on Voyager. I have located the Nishtrim vessel on long-range sensors distance 4 light years. However, they are not alone. There are now at least 6 other Kazon ships in the immediate vicinity. I didn't think Kula had that many ships. They must belong to enemy sects. That may be so, but the ships have not powered their weapon systems. What do you make of it, Neelix? It's certainly unusual for the rival Kazon to congregate peacefully. It's possible the Nishtrim have formed an alliance with other sects. I've never known the Kazon to do anything like that before, he says. If the Nishtrim have added 6 ships to their force, it would tactically unwise to engage them. Then we'll have to find a way of getting Chakotay out there without picking a fight. We could transport him out. We would have to slow down once within transporter range, giving the Kazon ample time to open fire. Not necessarily. We could beam him out at warp speed without slowing down. The Kazon would never be able to catch us. That's difficult enough when both ships are traveling warp. The Kazon ship's not even moving. I can compensate for that, B'Elanna says. She's got ideas. Then we're having a meeting on the Kazon ship with all the people from the other ships. B'Elanna's working on her plan. There's a dampening field. We run into a difficulty. Seska's found a way to hide Chakotay. There's a little bit of a fight. Everybody's rocking all over the place. B'Elanna's working on her plan. They know Voyager's there, and they're going to disable their weapons using the Federation codes. As always, B'Elanna's having a little difficulty. Gotta add a little suspense to the situation. There's a dampening field, blah, 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 blah. Add little stressful situation. So they beam the Kazon aboard, disable their weapons, and say, we'll exchange you guys for Chakotay. Okay, we'll exchange Chakotay for our lives. And then we've got to have a little chit chat. We get a voiceover. Captain's log stardate 49211.5. Now the commander has made a full recovery. I am faced with the difficult task of responding to his failure to follow procedure. Just tell me one thing. What were you thinking? About keeping our technology out of the caves on sand. I thought if I did it on my own, I could keep the rest of the crew out of danger. That may be a noble sentiment, but it isn't your decision to make. Oh, Chakotay, we spent the last 10 months together on the ship. I thought we had an understanding. Why did you choose to ignore procedure? Seska was my problem. You see? He was thinking it was his problem. He was internalizing it. But it was a ship problem. Chakotay's got to stop thinking about us, not me. He's got to think about us. So we got to have the little speech to us. It's us now. It's not just you. It's us. It's all of us. We're all in the situation. And that is the end of the episode. And I know there was one more Seska episode down the pike. That's even worse than this one. When Seska and her crew commit mutiny and try to overtake Voyager and all that kind of stuff internally. And she's showing Chakotay her child. So we'll see what happens there. If you can please tune in next week for Resistance. And don't forget to watch If Then today. Julie's book series If Then. If you're looking for a vampire, Dracula, homicides, werewolves, forensics, Black authors, Native American authors. I'm gonna do another one of both of those soon. Scotland Yard. I did investigative reporters way back when. Regencies. Cozy Mystery Thanksgiving, Cozy Mystery Christmas, Cozy Mystery Valentine's Day. We did all those last year. So please go check all those out. And every Saturday we're reading J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas, and every Sunday we are unboxing. And if you see any of those unboxings on YouTube, those people know what's in the box. They've either ordered it themselves or someone has sent it to them. I get these boxes every week. I do not know what's in these boxes until I open them. I do not want these books. I do a video with the books and we divide them up to go to the different charities and they're out of here within 72 hours. So, have a good one.